The Galactic Council chamber had never been so quiet. Ambassador Kethvar of the Zephyrian Empire shifted uncomfortably in his crystalline chair, his four eyes darting between the holographic displays that surrounded the amphitheater. The silence wasn't natural, not when 12 different species, each representing billions of souls across hundreds of worlds, had gathered to witness what they believed would be humanity's humiliation. 3 months earlier, the newest members of the galactic community had made what most considered an audacious claim. The humans, barely a century into faster-than-light travel, had requested inclusion in the strength trials, an ancient tradition where species demonstrated their military might to establish their position in the cosmic hierarchy. Impossible had been the unanimous verdict from the Council's military advisors. The humans possessed no plasma cannons capable of cracking moons, no gravitational manipulators that could redirect asteroids, no quantum disruptors that could unmake matter itself. Their ships were crude, their weapons primitive, their technology laughably outdated by galactic standards. Yet here they sat, waiting. Admiral Vexthul, the towering Craxian representative whose species had ruled through force for 3 millennia, finally broke the silence. His voice resonated through the chamber like grinding stone. "Where are they?" The trial was scheduled to begin at Galactic Standard 14 OR. As if summoned by his words, a single human vessel materialized at the edge of the testing zone. The assembled dignitaries leaned forward, studying the craft through their various sensory apparatus. It was ordinary, no larger than a standard patrol ship, bearing no visible weapons arrays, no energy signatures that registered on their most sensitive equipment. "That's it?" High Counselor Zelnina's telepathic voice rippled with amusement through the chamber. Her Sayonari people had mastered mental warfare centuries before humans discovered fire. "One ship? We allocated an entire star system for this demonstration." The testing ground stretched before them, a carefully selected system with 3 barren planets, 2 asteroid belts, and a dying red giant star. It had been chosen specifically to showcase the galaxy's most impressive weapons. The Turellian Confederacy had once used similar systems to display their planet crackers. The hegemony of Xylos had demonstrated their ability to reignite dead stars. What could one small human ship possibly do? Captain Sarah Chen's voice crackled through the communications array, steady and professional. "Galactic Council, this is Captain Chen of the UNSV Prometheus. We're ready to begin the demonstration." "Proceed," Admiral Vexthul commanded, his massive claws drumming against his armrest. "Show us this human strength you claim to possess." The human ship began moving toward the innermost planet, a rocky world roughly twice the size of Earth, its surface scarred by eons of meteor impacts. The assembled delegates watched through a dozen different viewing methods, some through electromagnetic sensors, others through gravitational wave detectors, still others through exotic particles that most species couldn't even perceive. "What are they targeting?" whispered Ambassador Yithlos of the Centauran Alliance. "The planet? The asteroid belt? Surely not the star itself." The Prometheus came to a complete stop approximately 1 million kilometers from the target planet. For several minutes, nothing happened. The ship simply hung in space, dark and silent. Then, without warning or preamble, something launched from the human vessel. It was so small that most sensors nearly missed it. A projectile no larger than a grain of sand, moving at impossible speed. No energy signature, no exotic matter readings, no quantum fluctuations. Just a tiny piece of metal accelerated to a significant fraction of light speed. The projectile struck the planet's surface with surgical precision. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. The delegates began to murmur among themselves, confusion evident in a dozen different languages and communication methods. Had the humans missed? Had their weapon malfunctioned? Then the planet cracked. Not exploded. Cracked. A hairline fracture appeared at the impact site, racing across continents and ocean floors with terrifying speed. Within minutes, the fracture had circumnavigated the entire world, splitting it into 2 perfect hemispheres. The assembled dignitaries watched in stunned silence as the planet's two halves slowly began to drift apart, their gravitational bond severed by the impossibly precise application of kinetic energy. Impossible, breathed Admiral Vexthal. Our analysis showed no energy signature capable of— You were looking for energy. Captain Chen's voice interrupted calmly. We gave you momentum. Mass times velocity. Basic physics, Admiral. We just happened to have very good targeting computers and very efficient acceleration systems. High Counselor Zelnina's telepathic presence felt suddenly cold. The precision required for such a strike. The calculations alone would require quantum processors beyond anything we've seen from your species. We're good at math, Chen replied, simply. Would you like us to demonstrate on the second planet? Or perhaps one of the asteroid belts? We brought several projectiles. The chamber erupted into chaos as delegates frantically whispered, clicked, hummed, and telepathically screamed at one another in their native languages. The Zephyrians, who had conquered 36 worlds through overwhelming firepower, suddenly found themselves reconsidering human diplomatic proposals. The Craxians, whose military doctrine relied on brute force and intimidation, began calculating the implications of weapons that left no energy signature to track or defend against. Ambassador Kethvar finally found his voice. Captain Chen, what was that projectile made of? Iron, came the response, followed by what might have been amusement in the human's tone, with a small tungsten core. Nothing exotic, nothing that wouldn't show up on a standard cargo manifest. The implications hit the assembled delegates like a physical blow. These humans could turn any cargo ship into a planet killer. Every commercial vessel, every transport, every seemingly innocent craft could be carrying weapons capable of surgical planetary destruction. The galaxy's entire understanding of warfare had just become obsolete. We trust this demonstration meets your requirements. For the strength trials? Captain Chen inquired politely. High Counselor Zelnina spoke for the entire council when she replied, her telepathic voice barely a whisper. Motion to grant humanity immediate Class A military status and full diplomatic immunity for all human vessels. The vote was unanimous. In the aftermath, as the council chambers slowly emptied, Admiral Vexthal remained in his seat, staring at the slowly separating halves of what had once been a planet. His aide approached cautiously. Admiral, your orders, sir? Vexthal's response was quiet, thoughtful, and would become the foundation of galactic policy toward humanity for the next 1,000 years. Send a message to our fleet commanders. Under no circumstances are human vessels to be considered hostile. Under no circumstances are human worlds to be threatened. And under no circumstances are we to give them any reason to demonstrate their basic physics again. The galaxy had wanted proof of human strength. They had received something far more, terrifying proof of human restraint.